9:36. We're still holding at 70 degrees. This is the Monday edition of Morning Magazine on KRMS 1150 AM, 97.5, 103.3 FM. Of course, you can download the KRMS app. You can find us on the LOZ app or KRMS TV 32.11. We have the Mayor, Michael Herman, in studio. He is the mayor of Osage Beach, and to my knowledge, he has not had any relatives eaten by cannibals.
No, I have not. Good morning, Tony. But I did see a funny thing on Facebook this week, and I don't know if you saw it or not, but I'm going to try to say this delicately. When the installed president was over at D-Day, where he kind of dropped down halfway and shortly thereafter was escorted off stage by his wife, and they think he might have had another problem controlling himself. So now the thing going around Facebook, TikTok, and all that is they call it do the Biden. Mm-hmm. So everybody puts their hands out and they drop down about halfway down and look around. It's called do the Biden. How sad it is that that's the leader of the free world.
I certainly wish him well. I don't want him to be reelected, but I certainly wish him well. And I still say, and I started saying this a year ago, and he's not going to be, I don't believe he will be the nominee for the Democratic ticket. Of course, that leaves the question of who it would be. And you've got Gavin Newsom as the most obvious choice because all of a sudden you don't hear anything from him.
No, and shame on his family for doing that to him. But anyway, locally we're doing good.
I saw the picture of the rails there, brother.
Yes. So we're moving forward. We have a great, exciting summer, and had a great tour of the Oasis last week. Mm-hmm. Took a bunch of pictures. What they're doing over there is going to change our city forever. And a lot of people talk negatively about that on social media. But when the Oasis, when COVID hit, people started coming to Lake of the Ozarks even more, and they weren't traveling to California and Florida and spending their dollars on airplanes. They got in the car and they loaded up the kids in the minivan 2 states away, and they came here and they loved it. And so they're going to keep coming back. And the one thing that everybody keeps saying is we need more family entertainment. And that's what they're going to do. They're working hard over there. And the roller coasters, the Ferris wheels is going to be stuff for literally from kids from 40 to 80 to have a good time over there.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I was going to do this at the 10:30 segment, but I'm going to bring it up with you as well. Of course, we know there is a little bit of turbulence in the Kansas City area about the Chiefs and the Royals potentially moving across the border. Royals moving somewhere totally different. And many people will say, do it, go. But and the reason I bring you into this situation, because it brings into what is the role of cities, what is the role of government in bringing in business. This is a business. Mm-hmm. I'm one of those. I'm from St. Louis, that when the Rams said, the Rams held the city of St. Louis hostage a number of times until finally the city went, go. And that is exactly what happened. In Kansas City, of course, we love the Chiefs. Everybody in the state of Missouri loves the Chiefs. That's all the football team we really need. St. Louis would like to have another NFL team, but really everyone loves the Chiefs. But I don't know if you say go, because how much real money does it come in? The reason I ask you that is, TIF projects. We often knock TIF projects in this area. Question is, if it's a good investment, it's probably a good investment.
It is. And if you look at the Oasis project, that property there had sat idle for decades. Nothing was on it. Nobody was earning any dollars from that for taxation. Mm-hmm. It was just a barren property. And years ago, we had a similar situation on the other side of the lake at the Herman's property. They were going to come in and do a big project, and that fell through. And there were some statistics that were provided a few days ago. Had that property happen 18 years ago, like they wanted to happen,
yes,
tax dollars down here would have been so much better. And so, yes, the argument can be made that why did they build a theme park there? Well, as a city, that's not us for us to decide. Mm-hmm. There's some state and federal money monies out there, and there's some grants out there, and there's some, yes, tax increment financing out there that's available to anybody that qualifies. So it's not the city to say, well, you should not put that there, you should put it someplace else. They had a dream, they had a vision, and we've worked well with them. One of the comments I keep saying, and I stole it from our city planner, is, would you rather have, 50% of $300,000 or 100% of nothing? And the city is working with them. Some of the tax benefits are going for infrastructure. There's no roads, there's no sewage, there's no water. So they're putting all that in. They have a 800 car parking garage that part of the tax financing is going to go to provide, and they're going to bring about 600,000 visitors every year. That's going to spend money at all the other businesses around here. We're not competing against other fun places down here. We're competing against St. Louis and Kansas City, and we're bringing. And Lieutenant Governor Kehoe will tell you that tourism is the number 2 economically driven function that we have here in the state of Missouri, and it's going to bring a lot of dollars to the city of Osage Beach and Lake of the Ozarks, and that's what myself and some of the other aldermen ran on, was family-friendly things for people to do, and that's what the city elected us to do. Any idea
the numbers that we're talking right here? Any idea how much tax, what real numbers are in the tax credits that they receive, and what we think the city of Osage Beach will profit from, and when will they profit? Yeah,
Jeff Tegetoff broke those down for us, and I don't even want to quote them right now, but just the dollars on property, you're talking about tens of millions of dollars over the next 20 years, when it would have been tens of thousands of dollars. So it's gone up tenfold, the tax dollars to the schools, to the library district, to the citizens here in Osage Beach.
It's one of those things where it's easy to jump on the bandwagon and say, yes, we're going to do this every time. No, we're not going to do this ever. Reality is, I hate to just break it down. It's so simplistic, but if it's a good deal, it's a good deal.
It is. And if you look at history, just over the course of the last 2.5 years, we were approached, 2.5 years ago, and somebody wanted to do a TIF at the mall. And one thing the city did at that time, we hired a third-party accountant, people that are educated in that field. And we don't hire them with the city's money, we hire them with the developer's money. And so we hired a third party, and they said, hey, this is not a good risk. And they brought it to the alderman, and they agreed it was not a good risk. And, and ironically, the city took a beating on that, because why aren't you doing this? Because we need this. Well, it wasn't a good risk. And so we do our due diligence, and it's not just 6 board members and myself making the decision. We listen to the third-party experts, and we listen to the tax accountants, and we look at the history of the developer, and this was certainly not even a risk per se, but it was a good investment.
Why doesn't the city, whether it's Osage Beach or another city, do a better job of just saying, this is what it cost us year 1 through 10. 10 through 20, this is what we make. Something along, and the 1 through 10 is just a made-up number, because I think that helps people out there understand it better.
And they do. That's been all over the paper. It's been, and again, if I had the article in front of me, or I could quote it for you, but they've done a very good job of year 1. Here's how many tax dollars it brought. In fact, that's one of the things they have to provide to get a TIF, was what do you forecast with or without this TIF? And they show the tax dollars without it, the tax dollars with it. So it's all out there, and I'll be happy to provide it. Give me some time to bring it with me next time, but all that information has to be in the project, and they've done a really good job of telling community that.
So if developers are going to make this amount of money, bring it in, why don't they just do the project themselves?
Well, there's a but-for clause, and that's right in the TIF. They have to make the case that they could not do this project but for the tax increment financing discount. And so, well, we have the Angler's Outpost down the road right there from the dollar store, down from Harmy's Cheese Store, if you ever heard of that place.
Of course.
And they're coming in, they're doing a $10 million project, and they're doing it all on their own, just as a lot of local businesses have done. By doing it on their own, they don't have to jump through all the extra hoops and things they have to do. But when they do want a tax benefit, they have a lot more things that they have to do in order to do it. If they want to finance it themselves, as long as they're within city code, they can do what they want.
Mm-hmm. getting to that part of the season, getting to that where the temperatures are starting to get warm, I would imagine several people in City Hall got their fingers crossed when we take a look at the sewage. We had talked about this continually but we were in cooler weather, and so now, where do you think we are?
I think you're going to see things get better. We've got my wife and I. She has a place down. I keep saying her place, my place, because we still live in two different places. But down Passover, we've tried some new things. It's basically almost like an air refresher, and she's remarked how much better it is. Of course, the sands back there behind, Andes, that's almost completed, and we do have Vapex, which is another thing that we've brought on to one location. We want to wait till the sands is 100% completed, but when they turn that on, it emits basically ozone.
So it's not on yet.
It's on, but it's still not 100% because the pipes themselves need to be below ground, so there's still some open areas, but it's getting better and better. And I'm on the joint sewer board because we do have a joint sewer facility with Lake Ozark. And as far as capacity, even at the most busy times of the season, the last couple of years, July 4th, we're not even at 50% capacity. So definitely we have capacity. And with the sewer treatment plant, when things do need fixed, they come up with new parts that are more efficient. So we have plenty of capacity. Moving it from point A to point B, as you know, we're a gravity flow sewage system.
It flows uphill at Lake of the Ozarks.
Pressure flow. And most communities are gravity flow, but everything's pressure. So it's constant maintenance. One of the things that we've spent, if you look at any board meetings, billions of dollars over the course of the last couple of years on maintenance, and it is aging system, but we're continually fixing that, and I think we're continually seeing an improvement in that. Whenever you have a lot of rain, whenever you have a lot of usage, it's going to compound it, and it's getting better and better, and that's one of the big things that the alderman has said, that to some extreme, not whatever it costs, but spend the needed dollars in order to make that, because we don't want people coming down here and visiting our beautiful lake and thinking, well, hey, it just smells like all the time.
Yeah. I want to go back to the parking garage.
Yeah.
Who owns it?
The parking garage will be owned by the developer, and then at the end of the term will be turned over to the city at no cost.
Really?
Yes.
And so will it be free? Will there be a charge? What do you see happening
It's
there?
going to be free. Free parking.
Excellent.
Yeah. Easy answer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But if you don't mind, I'll tell a few more things about that facility, because it was just amazing to me. And if you drive by on boat or even across the bridge, safely look over towards the Herman's property, and they've actually leased some land right next to the Herman's property, and they have the roller coasters, they have the space shot literally sitting on the ground, and those shipping containers that you see. It's going to be 157 shipping containers coming from Italy, Holland, other places. They have about 40 now. The shipping containers come in carrying the rides, and they have 24 hours to unload the shipping container and put it on the ground, and next day they grab the shipping container and head back out to sea. And we got 40 here. We got 117 more to go.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the Mayor, Michael Harmison, on KRMS 1150 AM, 97.5, 103.3. There's awkward silence there.
I was about to say it's not my job, but I think we're supposed to be on right now, Tony.
Well, there was no music. I need a little music there. I need a little bit of break.
That's like at the gym
there.
this morning. There's no music. You could hear everybody sweating almost.
Oh, God, I went for a walk last night. I thought I was going to die. And I looked at my lady and I went, I'm good. I'm going back to the house.
No, you said what we're going to talk about next, and I just got to thinking. We had a board meeting last week, and this is going to be exciting. We had a company come to us a few weeks ago, and it's Lucky 8 TV, and they do all sorts of Netflix series, and they do A&E series, and they have a couple on right now that I cannot remember what it's called, but down in Arkansas where they had people that go into prisons, they'd turn the prison uncovered, I think it's called, where somebody would go in to the anyway, they want to do a TV show here at Lake of the Ozarks, and it's a documentary, and follow our police force around, and not interfere, just follow. So it's not like a cops or some mini series, but the board voted to move forward on that. So here, if you see some TV crews out and about, and they're going to follow police around, the good and bad, the late night things, and they originally said they were going to call it Ozark Law. And we kind of said, nah, wait a minute. Ozark's down in southwest Missouri, maybe Lake Ozark Law, something like that. But yeah, it's through A&E. They're going to start filming soon. You'll see some people down here, and then it'll start next March. I think they're going to go right after Bike Fest. And it's
other areas involved, or just
Lake Ozark.
Gotcha.
Lake Ozark. It's
Yeah.
not a reality; it's a documentary. So, but one of the sticking points was the city wanted to have control. We didn't want them out there making us look like fools. And so, when they do the editing process, we'll be part of that. And they'll start filming now through the end of September, and there should be 10 episodes starting next March 2025. And
I did that once. I said, I don't want to look like a fool, and all it was commercials.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's exciting news. And going back to the Oasis, did that tour, just so people know there's going to be several roller coasters. There's going to be a one where you sit on, like the typical one. There's going to be another one where you're hanging, your feet are dangling down below. One of them is going to actually go underground for a while and come back up. It was kind of neat because they had the parking garage that, it's sitting on rock, and they did as much as they could, so they needed to do an explosion. And I was fortunate enough to detonate it. So if you go on Lake Expo and check that out, you can see it. But it's really, they had an aerial view from a drone where you can really see what they do is they drill down several spots, put the dynamite in, so it basically blows up underneath the ground. And then they can come back and excavate it, and they use the rock for riprap and backfill, and it's quite a project. And the thing that you see by the water right now, the two big metal base, they had rebar like you could not believe in this great big square. They concreted in. Of course, there's safety measures, and they said it's going to take about 30 days for that thing to be built. So within the next 30 days, you're going to see a 150-foot structure. That's the space shot, and right there across the bridge.
Is that when we really start to see something?
This summer, you're going to see it going up quick.
Because we've moved a lot of dirt for a long time, and I know that's part of it.
Yep.
But it's and they are making the most use of that space.
Oh, they are, and it's when you're on property, you can see they really did know what they were talking about. I know at first, the Facebook people, oh, it's never going to fit in there. It's never going to come to attrition, and I can't wait for a year from now to see the many people that thought this would never happen out there with their kids and grandkids and having a great time.
Absolutely. And that's Michael Harmison. He is the mayor of Osage Beach. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to wrap up this first hour